and happy Tuesday to all of you, and happy Tuesday 10 at 10. I am your host, Richard Charpentier, where we answer questions for you, the bakers, by people who've done it, people who've lived it. So we'll give you the practical and the scientific approach to issues. So without further ado, let's get started. First question. I have somebody making a sandwich bread with cream cheese and in the middle, but after 4 days, it is dry and becomes clotting. What is the solution? So that's an excellent question right here. And I recommend you go to Baker TV on BAKERpedia because they are talking about water activity and the issues around water activity and what it does. And this is a perfect example of that. Once you have two components with different water activity, the one with the lowest water activity of the component will pick up the moisture from the other one who has a higher water activity. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to equilibrate, to become to neutral, to sort of set. So that's the phenomenon that needs to be solved. And how do you solve it? Well, it's complicated. It's not like, oh, just put a little bit of this and just walk away. One, you need to understand where is your water activity today of your cheese filling, cream cheese filling, and what is the water activity of your bread components, and where are you after equilibration. But think about it. We're here to help on BAKERpedia. It's a great resource for many things. If you go to the BAKERpedia, the resources, you can find a list of different consultants and hire someone for an hour. I'm available. I would love to help you out on your issues and see how we can help. But if you can extend your shelf life by 1, 2, 3, 4 days, it's money being saved. And so therefore, getting the right people to help you out, it's always a good investment. So, go check the Baker TV where Dr. Lynn Carson talks about water activity, a fantastic coverage of the subject. All right, but good question, and it's not good to have products. And by the way, it's something that it applies to not only bread and cream cheese, but it applies to in the industry to cakes. When you think of a chocolate cupcake, when you have a filling, a cake, an icing, and like a hostess and a squiggle on top. So you have 4 components. You have to try to balance to ensure that the shelf life will be good for 60, 90 days, and then after packaging. But it's for a different subject. Next question. Somebody's asking us how to use sorbate in cake, and it's spelled SOR and space MATE, sorbate. And actually, I have a sample here. This is sorbate is a ingredients, as you can see, from J&K Ingredients, and a great company. It's a new products to help with the preservation of cakes, and it's made out of rowan berry. It's a natural product which basically gives you sorbic acid. Their recommended usage rate is between 0.25%, 0.25, up to 1.75% of the total batch weight, meaning everything in with the water. So if you calculate that, you would take your total and multiply it either by 0.25%. Whether or not to pick 0.25%, whether or not to pick 1.75, I would definitely recommend you contact J&K Ingredients directly to ask them, because they're the experts of the product. But it's a great product that I recommend, and hopefully it helps solve whatever issue you're doing. Good question. Now, last question. We only have 3 questions today. Somebody's asking, what's the best oven setting to bake croissants? I would say the best, you need to have a hot oven. Usually the way I would do it, we would do it at between 440 to 450 hot oven, because what you're trying to do is get a lot of heat up front and for the layers to sort of start separating, and where that moisture will create the layering effect. It will vary based on the oven. I'm talking about total conduction, meaning no convection, no fans. But if you have fans, you might have to lower it, because the fan will circulate the air very rapidly and you don't want to burn them. I would say start hot based on what your oven is doing, and see if it works. So that would be the best. So those were three easy questions. So since we're here, I'm going to just show you. There's one great book that it's a French book, but basically it's the history. It's called Le Pain de l'Homme, the bread of man, and it has beautiful talks about the history of bread, but it's filled with just gorgeous pictures all along of ancient civilizations and how they related to bread. I don't think it's made in English, but it's something that I'm collecting a lot of different baking and cookbooks that are antiques and older, and trying to see what can we learn, because baking is such an ancient tradition, and we're not reinventing anything. We're just borrowing and adding with new technology. But my friends, so it was a great pleasure again to talk to you today. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving week, and happy Thanksgiving with your family and loved ones. And I hope you guys stay all safe, and we'll see you next Tuesday for another episode of Tuesday 10 at 10. And I'm your host, Richard Charpentier. Stay safe, my friends. Happy baking.